pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Cooper?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Beaton?
Here.
Mayor Zelinski?
Here.
Councilmember Goodspeed?
Here.
Councilmember Szymanski?
Here.
Councilmember Grabowski?
Here.
Councilmember Pontiac?
Here.
City Manager?
Here.
City Attorney?
Here.
DPW Deputy Director?
Rick is here.
Finance Director?
Here.
Public Safety Director?
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have an amendment to the agenda, Mr. Speaker.
Mayor, in connection with the city's rural development financing, we found that there is a resolution that council we're asking review and hopefully adopt. And we're asking then that the council move to amend the agenda to add that item, which would be item 10E.
Do you need a motion?
We would need a motion.
That motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, please take the roll.
Councilmember Cooper?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Beaton?
Yes.
Mayor Zelinski?
Yes.
Councilmember Goodspeed?
Yes.
Councilmember Szymanski?
Yes.
Councilmember Grabowski?
Yes.
Councilmember Pontiac?
Yes.
Motion passed.
3, citizens' comments on agenda-related items. Do we have any citizens who'd like to comment on agenda-related items? Please come to the podium. Name and address, and limit your comments to 5 minutes, please.
Yes, sir. I'm Sherry Wild, 7700 Miller Road, Onekama. And I only have one question. Under Downtown Development Authority, I was curious to know why that's a city manager appointment. I have run twice previously for the DDA board, and each time it was a mayoral appointment. And I was curious to know when the change was made and why.
Weeks ago.
Because before, we all sort of called city council members and pleaded our case.
I will allow that to be answered if you'd like to, Mr. Saylor.
There was an ordinance amendment, I'm not sure how many meetings ago, several meetings ago, to conform to what the statute provides. In the past, you're correct, the city interpreted chief executive officer under the DDA statutes to mean the mayor. After reviewing it in greater detail, our conclusion was that the chief executive officer for Manistee is the city manager, and so that ordinance change was made a number of meetings ago.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Is there anyone else that'd like to comment on agenda-related items? Seeing none? Consent agenda. All items marked with an asterisk are on the consent agenda and considered by the city manager to be routine matters. Prior to approval of the consent agenda, any member of council may have an item from the consent agenda removed and taken up during the regular portion of the meeting. Consent agenda items include approval of minutes, payroll, invoice, consideration of ordinance Z 19-13, medical recreational marijuana, notification regarding next work session, consideration of annual Hops and Props event. At this time, council could take action to approve the consent agenda as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion here.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, please take the roll.
Councilmember Pontiac?
Yes.
Mayor Zelinski?
Yes.
Councilmember Grabowski?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Beaton?
Yes.
Councilmember Szymanski?
Yes.
Councilmember Cooper?
Yes.
Councilmember Goodspeed?
No.
Motion passed.
Thank you. Unfinished business, we have none. Business. Consideration of ordinance 19-18, chapter 1610, International Fire Code. This item was tabled from the June 4th, 2019 meeting and further discussed at the June 11th, 2019 work session. The Manistee Fire Department has received a number of complaints about open burning within the city. The city has certain requirements regarding open burning in Chapter 674 and also by its adoption of the International Fire Code in Section 1610. The Fire Department requests some additional language be added to Section 1610, allowing for more specific regulations for recreational fires so that what is authorized is more clear for residents and enforceable by fire officials. As an ordinance, 2 separate readings are required. This ordinance was introduced at the May 21st, 2019 meeting and could be adopted at this time. At this time, council could take action to adopt ordinance 19-18, amending chapter 1610 International Fire Code.
Motion to adopt.
Yeah, there's a motion on the table.
It is, it was
Do I have a
made by
second?
Beaton.
Mayor, when it was tabled, there was already a motion pending, so I think you've already got a motion for approval that's pending, and now it's just time for, I suppose, discussion and then voting on that motion.
Do we have any discussion?
I'd like to make an amendment to include that 25 feet from structures, as is required by the International Fire Code, but limit it for 15 feet from sidewalks and 5 feet from other property lines.
Can we amend a motion? Can we amend that, Mr. Saylor?
You can amend the motion. I guess I'm a little concerned about the specific language if we're adopting the ordinance. I don't have the ordinance in front of me, but
The ordinance has 25 feet basically for all of those difference, and what I'm saying is in the international, what we had in our discussion is the International Fire Code says it has to be 25 feet from a structure, does not address any of the other factors. So I'd like to amend that the 15 feet from the sidewalk and 5 feet from other property lines.
in the same section where we already had that. So I guess to answer your question, if that's a motion to amend the motion to approve the ordinance with that addition, that's in order.
That's in order?
That's in order with a support, it would be.
Do we need to get support on that amendment? or-
Support on the motion to amend, yes.
I would support that.
Do I have a second?
I think Linda was Councilperson Beaton's was a.
Okay, second, okay, I'm sorry. Okay, any discussion on the amendment?
On the amendment
Yes,
or the ordinance?
the amendment. Seeing none, please take the roll.
Councilmember Cooper?
No.
Councilmember Goodspeed?
No.
Councilmember Pontiac?
No.
Mayor Zelinski?
No.
Councilmember Grabowski?
No.
Mayor Pro Tem Beaton?
Yes.
Councilmember Schmansky?
Yes.
Motion failed.
So now we're back to the original,
Correct.
and we had a motion, and do we have a second?
You had motion and support at the last meeting.
Okay, so any other discussion on the original amendment?
I think it's too restrictive. I think what we've done is we've alienated 80 to 85% of the city. And obviously, you know how I feel. I think it's not fair. I don't think it's right, you know.
But that's why I was trying to.
You include maybe 20% more of the community. What has happened is pretty much most of Maxwell Town, most of my district,
My district as well.
that's your Maxwell Town, half of yours, some of yours is all affected. I mean, everybody, I think it's horrible. I don't think it's fair.
But would we,
I think we should have it was, unless I misunderstood, it said it was discussed at the ordinance committee. It was brought up. It was never really discussed at the ordinance committee. The ordinance committee really never got to get their teeth into it. So, I don't think it's right.
so would we then, if this was not accepted, would we then have to amend the we'd have to not adopt the International Fire Code?
Unfortunately, we already have.
We already have adopted it.
And so we.
But it already requires the 25 foot from the structure.
I understand that, but I think the ordinance committee needs to be looked at personally.
And I agree. I think it needs to go back to the ordinance committee. in our the property line, I mean, people don't have big lots, and, over time, it's, people they, they do fires, and I completely agree with Goodspeed, but we need to find another option, and going to the ordinance committee might help that.
Any other discussion?
Let us find out what we can do. Exactly.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, please take the roll.
Councilmember Cooper?
No.
Councilmember Goodspeed?
No.
Councilmember Pontiac?
No.
Mayor Zielinski?
No.
Councilmember Grabowski?
No.
Mayor Pro Tem Beaton?
No.
Councilmember Smansky?
No.
Motion failed.
Thank you. Consideration of an industrial facility tax and certification for 12 years for Fablite. Fablite plans a 40,000 square foot expansion at its present location. The expansion would increase their production capabilities and create 10 to 15 new jobs in the first 2 years. At this time, council could take action to accept the industrial facilities tax exemption certificate for Fablite and schedule a public hearing on this matter for the July 2nd, 2019 council meeting.
I will make that motion.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I just want to clarify things that I believe I've heard with the discussions on this. The expansion is going to be in the northwest corner. I don't know who to address the question to.
Right there.
Right. I was looking at it, but I didn't know whether I needed to go through that. All right.
Can we do it on the document?
Oh, can we use the document screen?
Okay, there's your shipping.
Steve, we can probably use the screen here.
We can put it on.
Oh, that's right, okay.
Way everybody can see it.
Have something to sit down on it so you can-
That way.
Stand up.
Where's the document? Where is it? I know. Which one is this? Oh, there, it's on the wrong screen.
Is the projector on?
Yeah. I should have turned it on, you're right.
I don't think the projector's on, is it?
Give it a minute here.
And went away.
For some reason the projector's not coming on right now. Let me see if I can right here. You might have to just talk them through without the site plan. No problem. It's not coming on right now.
We can see it on our screen.
We can see it on these.
If you leave it there, we can see
Okay,
it, but
that's good.
unfortunately, the audience can't.
Okay. Well, if anybody has any questions, I can show them. You see my finger, that's kind of going up north on Washington Street. We have a sign out there, and then the expansion would be going north and then a little bit west of the existing facility. So 40,000 square feet, which is the size of our existing facility, 40,000 square feet.
Okay. Yeah, that's one, I'm sorry, that's one question that I wanted to ask, only so that it could be reiterated in public, because I
Sure.
haven't been through the tour. And can you also tell us if you're going to be planting another barrier worth of trees to block?
I guess we will be doing landscape around the facility, and, I guess that hasn't, those plans haven't been solidified, what we're gonna do.
Did get a number of letters from people who live on Dunes Drive about that in particular. That was one item in particular.
Right, and currently, there's a lot of vegetation that buffer us between Fab Light and Dunes Drive. Currently, trees are growing up and getting taller and taller every year in that area.
And that would be part of the discussions with staff and representatives of Fab Light when they review the site plan.
Steve, have you gone down and listened to the noise, like that one person was complaining about the noise? Have you gone over on the drive and listened?
Yeah, and when we're shut down, the noise you hear is from the sweetening plant called Aztec. That's, I think the noise that, is the noise that, the neighbors are hearing, because that is a plant that runs 24/7. We've been running our plant 4 days a week. And if overtime dictates it, only 5 days a week. So typically in our schedule operations, we will, start up our operations on Monday afternoon, and then on Friday afternoon, shut down the operation, so.
Do you run it 24 hours though from
No,
one?
we just, during that time, we have 2 10-hour shifts.
Okay.
We'll run from 5 to 2 in the morning on Monday through Thursday, and then we exit on Friday afternoon at 3:30 for the weekend, and then open back up Monday afternoon.
Any other questions to
I
discussion?
have one for Mr. Taylor. Mr. Taylor, what would be the financial impact to the city by allowing this exemption?
We haven't calculated that yet, but what the exemption would do would exempt Fab Light from 50% of their ad valorem taxes. So we would get 50% of whatever the new value is.
So in other words, there would be a tax increase
There would be
even with the exemption?
There would be a tax increase based on the anticipated investment of $3 million. So, and we would get half of that, and then Fab Light, if their request is granted, would be abated the other half.
For how long?
Well, they're requesting 12, and it's up to council to determine whether they would give them the full 12 or a portion thereof. So, and then after 12 years, then we get the full 100%. So we're not losing anything, we're gaining.
Thank you.
I had one technical question to ask about that tax abatement, and that is currently, I think you want about 10 acres out there? Is it about 10?
A little more.
A little more than 10 acres. So that whole 10 acres right now is part of your taxes that you pay on the building that exists. So somehow the assessor will have to just figure out what that 50% is on the new structure, not necessarily the land that's underneath it, because you're already paying the full amount on that. Is that the way you understand it to be too? Okay, that's one thing that I wanted to be sure on. Thank you.
Any other questions?
I guess the only thing I wanted to convey was if there's any of my neighbors that would care to take a look at our facilities and have a tour, I would offer the same tour for my neighbors as I did for city council, and have them be able to see what we actually do at Fat Light and see it for themselves. I think we're a very well-run company, very organized, and very environmental friendly company. One thing I just want to point out is there's been talks of our emitting VOCs, volatile organic compounds. Our company does not emit VOCs. so there is no VOCs emitting from the stacks. The only thing that we emit from the stacks is steam from hot water. So there's no VOCs emitting in our facility, proud to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nothing else? Let's take the roll.
Mayor Pro Tem Beaton,
Yes.
Councilmember Smansky,
Yes.
Councilmember Cooper,
Yes.
Councilmember Goodspeed,
Yes.
Councilmember Pontiac,
Yes.
Mayor Zelinski,
Yes,
Councilmember Grabowski.
Yes.
Motion passed.
thank you. Consideration of applications to boards and commissions. The city clerk has taken action to advertise vacancies on the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority, Downtown Development Authority, Downtown Development Authority Citizen Council, Harbor Commission, Historical District Commission, Parks Commission, PEG Commission, and the Zoning Board of Appeals. Mayor appointments require a motion, second, and council voted support. Nominations for council appointments do not require a second. After all nominations are made, council votes on the nominee until one nominee receives majority support. The following applications have been received. Brownfield Redevelopment Authority, 3 vacancies, term beginning 7/1/19 and ending 6/30/22. Applicants must be a city resident or persons of interest in the city. These are mayoral appointments. I'd like to appoint Marilyn McBride, 2017 River Street. Do I have a motion or support?
I'll
I
support.
mean,
I have a support and a second by Mr. Smansky. Any discussion? Please take the roll.
Mayor Zelinski,
Yes.
Councilmember Grabowski,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Beaton,
Yes.
Councilmember Smansky,
yes.
Councilmember Cooper,
Yes.
Councilmember Goodspeed,
Yes.
Councilmember Pontiac.
Yes.
Motion passed.
I would like to appoint Megan Kemp of 327 First Street. Do I have support?
I'll second.
I need someone to support.
I'll support it.
I have support and second. Any discussion? Please take the roll.
Councilmember Goodspeed,
Yes.
Councilmember Cooper,
Yes.
Councilmember Smansky,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Beaton,
Yes.
Councilmember Grabowski,
Yes.
Mayor Zelinski,
Yes.
Councilmember Pontiac.
Yes.
Motion passed.
My third appointment would be for Shelley Malberto of 347 Second Street. Do I have support?
Yep.
Second.
I have support and second. Any discussion? Being none, please take the roll.
Councilmember Smansky,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Beaton,
Yes.
Councilmember Grabowski,
Yes.
Mayor Zelinski,
Yes.
Councilmember Pontiac,
Yes.
Councilmember Goodspeed,
Yes.
Councilmember Cooper.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Downtown Development Authority, there are 2 vacancies, 1 interest member and 1 at-large member. Terms beginning 7/1/19 and ending 6/30/23. Applicants of interest member must have an interest in property in the downtown district. This is a city manager appointment. Mr. Taylor.
Yes, I recommend appointment of Jody Walter, 2141 Stronach Road, for the at-large position.
I support that.
Second.
We have a support and second. Any discussion? Please take the roll.
Councilmember Goodspeed,
Yep.
Councilmember Pontiac,
Yes.
Mayor Zelinski,
Yes.
Councilmember Grabowski,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Beaton,
Yes.
Councilmember Smansky,
Yes.
Councilmember Cooper.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you.
Then I would like to appoint Tamara DePanio, 387 River Street, for the interest position.
I would support that.
We have support. Second?
Your Honor, I realize I'm out of order. Could I please ask a question? It pertains to this.
A point of order, we're in the middle of doing this. You can ask your question at the end of the meeting. I'll allow you time then. Thank you. So where we're at is,
Support and a
for
second.
support and a second, any discussion?
Chip.
Yeah, what, if we got Very Wild here, she's been head of the board for a long time. She's been on the board for a long time. She owns a business downtown. Wouldn't be a benefit, I know Tamara, I think, owns a business too downtown, doesn't she?
Tamara has interest in 2 properties downtown. She has an interest in them. She's part owner in them. Yeah.
You have a person with that much
And
experience.
plus, additionally, she's also a resident of the DDA. So,
Well, I thought in past meetings, we've actually said it would be better if people would attend. That's on
She,
there.
in the backup information that came with the agenda, it gives the applicants reasons why they could not attend. She is on vacation out of town, and then she also was very informative with her questions that she answered about the DDA, which is all public information. So I thought her comments were very insightful, so I'm willing to support her.
Any other discussion? Please take the roll.
Councilmember Pontiac?
Yes.
Councilmember Cooper?
No.
Councilmember Grabowski?
No,
Mayor Pro Tem Beaton?
Yes,
Councilmember Szymanski?
Yes.
Mayor Zelinski?
Yes,
Councilmember Goodspeed? Motion passed.
thank you. Do you have any other appointments tonight, Mr. Mayor?
no, just 2.
Thank you. Historical District, there are 3 vacancies, 1 term ending 2/28/20 and 2 terms ending 2/28/22. 1 member is desire who meets professional qualification standards for ecologically, architect, historic and historic architect application must be a resident. Holy cow. This is a council appointment. You have 1 appointment. Who wants to make it?
I'll make a motion that we appoint Ron Hembold.
a second.
Have a first and a second. Do I have any discussion?
What term ending?
This one is term ending
2/28/20.
28/22.
take a turn.
He made the first, yeah.
Have a first and second. Do I have any discussion? Seeing none, please take the roll.
Councilmember Szymanski?
Yes.
Councilmember Cooper?
Yes.
Councilmember Goodspeed?
Yes.
Councilmember Pontiac?
Yes.
Mayor Zelinski?
Yes,
Councilmember Grabowski?
Yes,
Mayor Pro Tem Beaton?
Yes,
Motion passed.
Parks Commission, 2 vacancies, term ending 6/30/22. Applicant must be a non-resident, but must own real estate or business profession, having a licensed business located in the city, or have a child attending school within the city. This is a mayoral appointment. I'd like to appoint Tim O'Connor, 330 4th Avenue. Do I have support?
support.
Do I have a second?
Yep.
I have support and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, please take the roll.
Councilmember Grabowski?
yes,
Mayor Pro Tem Beaton?
Yes,
Councilmember Szymanski?
Yes.
Councilmember Cooper?
Yes.
Councilmember Goodspeed?
Yes.
Councilmember Pontiac?
Yes.
Mayor Zelinski?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Zoning Board of Appeals, 3 vacancies, term ending 5/31/22. Applicant shall be a resident of the population distribution and of the various interests presented in the city. Mayoral appointment, I'd like to appoint Dwayne Jones, 512 4th Street. I have support, do I have a second? I have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, please take the roll.
Councilmember Pontiac?
Yes.
Councilmember Goodspeed?
Yes.
Councilmember Cooper?
Yes.
Councilmember Szymanski?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Beaton?
yes,
Councilmember Grabowski?
yes.
Mayor Zelinski?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Concerns and comments. Citizens' comments. This is an opportunity for citizens to comment on municipal services, activities, or areas of city involvement. Citizens in attendance shall be recognized by the mayor for comments, limited to 5 minutes. Letters submitted, council will not be publicly read. Yes, please step to the podium.
When I asked to be recognized before you were discussing the appointments for the DDA, Tamra applied as an at-large member, and the application was approved by the city clerk. And I guess I'm asking Mr. Saylor on the legality of appointing her in a different position. She is not here to ask for that waiver. I'm curious to know whether or not the city clerk received a letter from her asking to change the category.
My understanding is the city manager asked her regarding that change, and she was agreeable to it. The appointment is at the city manager's discretion. So
I did talk to her late this afternoon.
Could I ask why? I mean, I know it's none of my business. I'm just curious to know why you would intervene and ask someone to change the status of their
I didn't ask her to change. She is in a unique position because she's a resident of the downtown, which is one category for representation. She also has an interest in property downtown, which is another condition or another seat on a board. And third is that she could always fill in an at-large. And we had a candidate that was wanted an at-large position that I was interested in. I asked Tamara if she would still be on the board. It would just be in a different seat. That's all. And I asked her if she was interested in doing that, and she had no problems with doing that.
And there's no impropriety, Mr. Saylor, as far as the city clerk.
You want me to answer that, Mary? I guess not to leave it hanging out there, no, there's no impropriety. This is an appointment that is at the discretion of the city manager.
And I did have that discussion with the city manager prior to making the appointment. So I got his same concurrence that it was very appropriate.
Okay, I mean, it's not sour grapes, but in 1993, I bought 2 buildings downtown, and so I have been a long-time property owner and served as chairman of the DDA in my past service. And I guess I just found this extremely unusual, that's all.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Let's call. Anybody else? Seeing none? Officials and staff?
Nothing at this time.
Mr. Saylor?
Nothing, Honor.
I believe we have public safeties here.
All set, thank you.
Mr. Bradford?
Nothing, thank you.
Rick?
Nothing at this time.
Okay. Council members?
Nothing.
Want to start down there, okay?
We're starting with Dale.
Mayor Pro Tem?
Nothing?
Public safety, appreciate your guys' diligence on Saturday with my mom, really do. And I don't have any intention of running again, so the 4th seat is open, it needs to be filled. Done, you know, I think, I know it goes, I believe the south, from the north side of 5th Street, all the way east of 31 to the bridge, and then from Washington Street to Monroe Street, go on the north side, east, that's the district. I'd like to see somebody run.
I just want to congratulate the city for world's oldest firehouse. So congratulations and good work.
I was at the dedication, as was the mayor. It was very interesting, the report that everybody gave. And it was nice that Fred worked so hard on that. He should be congratulated on that. Also, I want to thank the guys that are working pretty hard on 12th Street, trying to get that street done. It's a lot of work.
I too, I'd just like to add my congratulations and thanks to Fred Lapointe and Mark Federer for all the work that they did in having that recognition come to Manistee. Also like to thank all the volunteers for the big day of service last Saturday.
Thank you. I would like to add something to the next work session. Mr. Taylor?
That's,
Add something to the next work session. I was a little bit disappointed, somewhat disappointed. I was disappointed at the last DDA meeting when they refused to allow you to take your seat. I would like to have a discussion at the next work session about that and give you some direction. I'd also like to have Mr. Saylor attend that meeting so that we can be sure we're on legal ground here. With that, I have nothing. We need to go to work session, or closed session. Consideration of a closed session, attorney's opinion. City Attorney George Saylor recommends a closed session this evening to discuss an opinion rendered by the city attorney as permitted under Section 8H of the Michigan Open Meetings Act. At this time, council could take action to proceed to a closed session under Section 8H of the Michigan Open Meetings Act. Do I have a motion?
I will.
Second.
Second.
First and second, any discussion? Please take the roll.
Councilmember Cooper?
Yes.
Councilmember Szymanski? Mayor Pro Tem Beaton?
Yes.
Councilmember Grabowski?
Yes.
Mayor Zelinski?
Yes.
Councilmember Pontiac?
Yes.
Councilmember Goodspeed?
Yes.
Motion
A
passed.
little break first before I fly.
Take a little break.
Yeah.
5-minute break, please. You all have it in front of you. Do you want me to read it, or do you want to?
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we approve the consideration of resolution 1918 regarding unrecorded easement and rural development hold harmless as written by the attorney.
Do I have a second?
You have a second. I second it.
Any discussion? Please take the roll.
Councilmember Goodspeed?
Yeah.
Mayor Zelinski?
Yes.
Councilmember Szymanski? Mayor Pro Tem Beaton?
Yes.
Councilmember Grabowski?
Yes.
Councilmember Pontiac?
Yes.
Councilmember Cooper?
Yeah.
Motion passed.
Make a motion.
I might as well get that.
I second.
Adjourn.
He was,
Actually,
got a couple more months.
I mean, I will, I don't care. Oh, no, this has exhibit stamp. Let me do this later, I have to map the garage out.
I can't believe
Because that's something that they, because I want to submit to them a couple of my attorney preliminary title opinions, the PTO, so I can get that rolling.
Well,
Blake
yeah,
told me, he said, hey, send me any of those anytime.
An architect and we had
good. Well, thanks for figuring out that workaround.
Yeah.
Tell ya.
Jeff